today we have 3 must-add players who all happen to be rookies for week 12 in your fantasy baseball leagues. As always, this video is brought to you by FanDuel Canada, the best place to be betting on baseball if you were in Canada. Great markets. Participate in Dinger Tuesday and you are able to watch games in the app. Even if you're in America, be betting on FanDuel this baseball season. Let's get into these 3 players. The first one is going to be Drew Thorpe of the White Sox. He's 26% rostered. He's only pitched 1 big league game, so he's 0-0, a 1.8 ERA, 4 strikeouts, 2 walks, 5 innings pitched, and his whip is 1. Drew Thorpe was part of 2 blockbuster deals this offseason. First, he was traded from the Yankees to the Padres in the Juan Soto deal. And then in March, he was sent to the White Sox in the Dylan Cease trade. There's a good reason he was the centerpiece in 2 of those deals, as he was one of the better starters in all of minor league baseball for the last 2 seasons. In his minor league career, which spanned only 2 seasons, like I said, Thorpe was 21-3 with a 2.17 ERA, a sub-1 whip, 238 strikeouts in 199 innings. And this week, he got his call to the big leagues. He got a decently nice landing spot as he had the Mariners on the road, and he pitched pretty well. Like I commented on before, he only had 1 earned run in his 5 innings, able to punch out 4. He did walk 2. And when we talk about Drew Thorpe, the first things that's going to come up is how good his changeup is. He does have a 5-pitch mix, but he threw his changeup 38.8% of the time in his start, and his 4-seamer just 28.6% of the time. Thorpe reminds me a little bit of Giolito, how he uses the pitch mix. Obviously, Giolito, when he was really good, was working off that changeup a bunch. He just has way cleaner arm action than Lucas Giolito does. And I think there's a lot of velo left in the tank for Drew Thorpe that's not going to be really realized in season right now, but I think over the offseason he can get some gains as well. He was able to get a whiff 40% of the time on his changeup, and that's going to be what carries him. He has good upside as a pitcher for his career. I think you're going to be worried about wins when you're trying to get a White Sox starting pitcher, but I think he can give you everything else that's really good. So I'm going to be picking up. The second one is Spencer Horwitz of the Blue Jays, 4% rostered, 389 average, doesn't have a home run. 2 runs batted in, a 476 OBP, and a 164 weighted runs created plus. Spencer Horwitz has been hitting leadoff or hitting second for the Toronto Blue Jays since he has been called up from the minors. And why is Spencer Horwitz doing that? Because no one on this team wants to hit, and they don't have a ton of team speed for someone in a traditional leadoff spot. And also, Spencer Horwitz has been an elite on-base percentage guy in his career. And this is the most on-base percentage league pickup you could ever find. Horwitz isn't going to hit for a ton of power. He was hitting a ton of doubles in AAA, but not a lot of home runs, which is kind of a surprise when you see his body and you see his swing. It's a pretty violent swing, but he's more of an average hitter. Also, Spencer Horwitz is about to become second base eligible. He seemed to be positionless, kind of stuck at first base, DH, that type of thing while he was in the minors, and that's not going to work when you have Justin Turner, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and Daniel Vogelbach all kind of doing the same thing. So they moved him to second base while he was in Buffalo, and he's been playing second base at the big league level. And having some positional flexibility is always great for fantasy baseball. In AAA this year, Spencer Horwitz was walking more than he struck out. He's had over a 450 on-base percentage in his last 2 minor league seasons at AAA. Horwitz is going to be the high average guy, barely any steals, but you need to pick him up and give him a chance if you have OBP as one of your categories. And lastly, Cade Povich of the Orioles, 7% rostered. He has 2 major league starts. In those 2 starts, 0-1, a 4.76 ERA, 8 strikeouts, 4 walks, and 11 innings. His whip is 1.24. Cade Povich turned in a much better second start of his big league career against the Braves after a tough one against the Blue Jays to start. And the Braves, not exactly striking fear in pitchers' hearts right now, but Wednesday was still a significant improvement from Povich's first start. He struck out 6 over 6 innings of work with 14 swinging strikes, and he showed off the entire arsenal, getting at least 1 whiff on all 5 of his pitches while throwing them at least 7 times. Still not sure Povich has a ton of upside, but at least he showed us something this time around. That was an excerpt from Chris Towers' article there. Again, Povich isn't getting a ton of whiffs. The only one he is getting a ton of whiff on is his curveball, and he's throwing that strictly to right-handers. As Povich being a left-hander, I think every team is just loading up on their righty, so he's not getting to see a ton of left-handers anyways, but he's throwing a sweeper instead of a curveball to lefties. Doesn't have an overpowering fastball either, so he needs to locate really well to be successful. The best thing about Cade Povich is the team that he is on. He's in an awesome spot. He can contribute wins if he sticks at the big league level, and he showed against the Braves that he is capable of doing that. Again, if you're going to face a ton of right-handers while you're hitting at Camden Yards right now when they push left field all the way back, we're fine. It's not as hitter friendly as when you have left-handed hitters just pulling over the short right field. I think if we start seeing more strikeout upside, Povich will be 50% rostered at least. So I'm going to get on this early. I think Cade Povich has a better outlook, and I will be picking him as well. Thank you guys for watching Must Add this week. Let me know some players you like as well, and we will see you guys next time.